My name is Paul O'Reilly. I lead a project in TU Dublin called Growth Hub. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. And Gloria, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, so I'm Gloria Roll from the Growth Hub, the partnership lead. And Growth Hub, well, Paul will tell you in a second, but we're all about promoting entrepreneurship. And welcome to today here.
Okay, so I'm just going to share the presentation, and we'll go into that. Okay, so the presentation, if you like, is on the three programs that the Postgraduate Certificate in Design Thinking and Innovation, the Postgraduate Certificate in Digital Entrepreneurship, and the Postgraduate Certificate in Entrepreneurship and Innovation. And this program is restricted for women applicants only. And I'll discuss why and what we're about there as well during the presentation. I know some of you know TU Dublin, some of you know it too well. So, I'm still have the presentation done, so I'm going to give the brief introduction. And particularly to the College of Business at TU Dublin, because I think normally when we start talking about what we're doing and what we do, people are a little bit surprised there was a little bit more there than they thought. The Faculty of Business at TU Dublin is the largest business school in Ireland in terms of student numbers. We have over 7,000 students at our campuses in Cambridge Street, Blanchardstown and Tala. And of these, over 1,000 are on postgraduate programs, such as the programs we're going to talk about today. We have a very significant engagement with enterprise in everything we do, and we'll talk about how enterprise are going to be involved in different important touch points of the program that we're talking about today. And we're very focused on developing skills and competences and knowledge that are going to help you be it in career focus, and that could be in relating to roles you're currently in, or maybe in relation to new ventures that you're going to be interested to develop as you go through the programs, or before it or after it even. And we have international accreditations as well. We're accredited by the Association of MBAs, and that puts us in the top 2% of business schools globally. And we've also signed up for the United Nations Principles for Responsible Management Education, and that's addressed in learning outcomes for every program that we have as well. Just by way of background, so when you're telling anybody that you're doing a program in the Faculty of Business at TU Dublin, those 7,000 students that I mentioned, they're on 17 undergraduate programs across all the areas of business, and they're on over 40 postgraduate programs. Now, some of those are open access programs and programs such as the Springboard programs that we're talking about tonight, and some of those are programs that we run directly with industry. The program that we're talking about tonight are in the Graduate Business School. That's one of 7 schools currently in business, and as a school, it's responsible for our postgraduate education, but also looks after a lot of our industry-based or executive education as well. So, as I mentioned, we have there's over 1,000 students on these programs, on over 40 programs. Very much in terms of how programs are designed, they're career focused, and there's engaged learning modules and models. And so you'll see, for example, in any of the programs we're talking about today, there's the assessments are all very applied. There's no exams. It's about progressing maybe ideas that you might have, but working on applying the learning, so that you can see how it's useful and how it can be used. We're very much globally focused in the programs that we have. We have programs that run internationally. We have programs that our students will travel on as well, and we have other programs that our students are located in different parts of the world. Unfortunately, there's no travel for you in this. We won't be going anywhere, so I'll move on. And in terms of the validating what we do, we have won multiple awards for the different education programs and different initiatives, and that includes from the Dublin Chamber winning the best postgraduate and executive education in business award from Dublin Chamber last year. And then I mentioned that we're internationally accredited. Examples of how we are very much engaged with industry and working with industry can be seen with the executive education activities that we have on. And this is not a full list, but it gives you an idea of the types of organizations that we're working with. And we're working in areas that are relevant to entrepreneurship and innovation. So for example, with Technology Ireland, ICT SkillNet, we have a master's program in technology innovation, in leadership, innovation and technology. And we have masters and other postgraduate programs in product management for software. But similarly, in other areas, we have other types of programs with Oracles and Microsofts and Ericsson's, but also with industry networks such as IBEC and the SkillNet organizations. So where the benefit you get from this is that it means the lecturers on the program, they're used to going out and delivering their programs and their education to real world contexts, and that feeds back into everything that we do. All of our programs are accredited on the National Framework of Qualifications. So the programs that we're talking about tonight, the 3 of them are accredited as a level 9, which is a postgraduate or a master's level on the National Framework of Qualifications. They're postgraduate certificates. That means they're 30 ECTS. Now what we have and what we can do is you can accumulate credit and maybe work towards a higher level qualification, and I'll talk about that shortly as well. But just to be safe to be said, though, that the awards that you will get from these are internationally recognised, and because they're accredited in the National Framework of Qualifications. I'm just showing you this because I haven't seen it myself. These are just images. We won't have our new business school on the Grangegorman campus finished before the end of the program, but I thought I might share it with you because if you sign up for the program, you should become alumni of the TU Dublin Faculty of Business, and we'll be looking forward to joining you at what will be a terrific new campus at Grangegorman. The current program is mostly online, and the physical location for it is our Ainger Street campus, which is, if people don't know Ainger Street, it's just a short walk from Stephen's Green, and it's a high quality facility as well. It would have been one of the newer old DIT buildings, if you like, before Grangegorman was commenced, and we have in that dedicated space for entrepreneurship and innovation programs. Myself and Gloria work in the Faculty of Business, but specifically we work in Growth Hub. And Growth Hub, which if you join the program, is something you'll see quite a bit of as you go through it. The Higher Education Authority, just over a year ago, requested strategic priority projects from across the university sector that would drive important skills areas that industry was looking for. And as a Faculty of Business, we submitted a proposal for Growth Hub, which really is an initiative that seeks to develop a talent pool with entrepreneurial alertness and intent and growth-oriented ambitions. And really, a lot of the focus of what we're doing is to build initiatives that support students develop entrepreneurial competences, particularly students at all levels. That can be students in our full-time programs, on our apprenticeship programs, on our postgraduate programs, but also on our lifelong learning-based programs, such as this Springboard program and the enterprise-based learners that we have as well. And what we're trying to do with the Growth Hub project, if you like, is build what we're calling an interconnected entrepreneurship education ecosystem. So developing program content and modules, and these programs that are being presented to you tonight were all designed in Growth Hub, and a lot of the new modules on it have been designed with the support of educational bursaries supported by Growth Hub, where our faculty have been funded to design and develop new and innovative initiatives, and I'll mention some of those areas as we're going through it. But there's a range of other areas. I'm not going to go through all of them now. You'll be relieved. But what I would be saying is you will have access to a lot of the initiatives of Growth Hub, as well as the program once you're signed up. And that will include things like access to our dedicated ideation spaces at our Ranger Street campus, but also invitations to join Growth Hub initiatives, special speaker series with entrepreneurs typically and innovation leaders, and other supports that will come online as we continue to roll out that project. So that's just something to flag for you at this stage. In addition to Growth Hub, there's a lot of other things students that are in TU Dublin get to participate in. We have symposiums and guest speaker sessions that will be promoted to you. There's just an example of two of them there on the right hand side there, where we had Professor Keith Goffin, who would be kind of one of the international leading experts in innovation management, and famous for developing his innovation pentathlon framework, which you'll learn about on innovation management modules on the programs. And also people like Paul Flynn, the former Dublin GAA player, Gaelic football player, and former CEO of the Gaelic Players Association, who, as a Meath man, made me think that we're never going to win a Leinster Championship again. The Dubs have everything figured out so well, but maybe there's hope yet after last year. We have a business seminar series that runs throughout the year, different thematics. One of the thematics at the moment is emerging technologies and digital transformation series. And we also have other guest speakers that come in on different topics, such as high performance, leading global teams, developing a coaching mindset. And you'll receive communications on these, and you'll be invited to join them. And they're pretty much on a weekly basis for people who wish to join them. So that quick tour of the Faculty of Business and the type of environment that it provides for you as a student on our programs brings us then to the actual programs that we're talking about this evening, this suite of entrepreneurship and innovation programs that have been funded by Springboard, and the more details of, and some of you have seen it already through the Springboard website, obviously, springboardcourses.ie, and that's where applications will go, but we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. The programs then we're talking about tonight are the Postgraduate Certificate in Digital Entrepreneurship, the Postgraduate Certificate in Design Thinking and Innovation, and the Postgraduate Certificate in Entrepreneurship and Innovation. And as I said, that program is restricted for women applicants only, which I'll come to shortly. I'll cover, before going into the individual programs, I might just cover some of the items that are relevant to each of the programs, the informations that are relevant to each of the programs. So first off, it's a blended delivery program, and so we have online modules, but we also have in-person workshops, and that will see itself rolled out or implemented with the program being across 2 semesters. So you'll take typically 3 modules in each semester, 3 5-credit modules, and there's 8 weeks in each semester. So the classes will be online for 2 nights per week. So 2 modules on one evening and 1 module on the third evening. And there'll be 2 Saturdays in each semester as well. So that's 4 Saturdays over the full course of the program. So 2 semesters in the first semester and 2 Saturdays in the second semester. We're looking at, and we will confirm this, but we've been trying to kind of confirm the evenings, just a couple of issues that we're trying to roll into fit into place, but it's looking like a Monday and Wednesday evenings, but we'll confirm that to everybody once we have final confirmation on ourselves. They're a classified award. Some programs you might see CPD programs, it's pass or fail, but there is awards, levels of award for up to a distinction, or then a merit up or merit lower and a pass for these programs, and which is valuable when you go to try to use these programs for maybe progression. So as a level 9 fully accredited program, you may be able to use the credits that you will collect on these modules for exemptions on existing masters where there is sufficient and strong overlap, and we have some masters programs in TU Dublin. But what we're also rolling out, and it is a framework where you might be able to take build your credit 30 credits per program, and we have other programs other than just these ones, and we will be putting in new programs as well into the next round of Springboard applications, which is next month, and you will be able to accumulate them up to a 90 credit masters. So and you may also be able to bring them somewhere else that who may choose to recognize them as 30 credits towards building a master's in that flexible format as well. The three programs, the first program I'm going to talk about is the PG Cert in Digital Entrepreneurship. This is a 5-module program. It should be said that the Digital Entrepreneurship, which is a double module. So that's a module that will run through both semesters. The creativity and design, all of the modules and all of the programs I'm going to talk about now, there is no exams. It's assessments as you go through the modules. Some of these will be group assessments where you'll work together. For example, in the creativity and design thinking, you'll have an opportunity to work on a live challenge that will be provided for you to work with colleagues on the program and to develop innovative and creative solutions to that challenge. The personal entrepreneurial capital module, and there's a similar module on the women and entrepreneur with the PG Cert in entrepreneurship and innovation as well. This module is really looking at you as an entrepreneur, and it talks about the personal effectiveness, the resilience, areas around networking and how you build that personal entrepreneurial capital. And when we're talking about capital, we're not talking about in the financial sense, we're talking about it in your personal capabilities and your personal effectiveness. The digital entrepreneurship module will see you take a digital enterprise idea through from the early stages of initiation and ideation right through to its development to a final business plan, if you like, or an enterprise plan. And that's why this is a long module. It allows you, for example, I know some of you may have enterprise ideas that you're bringing to the table and you want to develop them. Well, having this module spread the summer will provide some time maybe for doing some of the other developmental work relating to that enterprise idea as well. Then there's the digital growth marketing module, which is again heavily linked to what you'll be doing in the digital entrepreneurship module, developing the growth plan, and particularly how we grow an online business or a digital enterprise. And there's a module in agile project management, because as you're going through all of this, the project management is going to be very important, and your ability to do that in a lean way and to be flexible as you proceed through it will be addressed through the agile project management module. So there's opportunity, if you like, if you're coming with an enterprise idea, to be able to build up all the various skills and competences that are going to be relevant to it, but also work on your own personal self in terms of how you need to build that self-confidence and resilience to bring a business through. There will be significant networking opportunities within it, particularly within that personal entrepreneurial capital module. And there will be guest speakers, digital entrepreneurs, throughout the program at different in different stages to be able to tell their story of how they did it as well. So that's the digital entrepreneurship program. And I should say, when we're talking about digital entrepreneurship, it's not restricted to somebody starting a new venture, but as we know, within organizations, be they larger public and private organizations, with digital initiatives and digital transformation, it's also talking about people who are bringing ideas for sometimes transforming how we work in a different organizational context. So the competencies and skills, if you like, are going to be relevant for both ways of developing an entrepreneurial or innovative idea. So moving to the PG Cert in Design Thinking and Innovation. Again, and each of the programs has a module in creativity and design thinking, and that's something that the Growth Hub project is particularly looking to drive and build, and giving people the skills and tools and frameworks to be able to build creativity and design thinking, but also addressing some of the mindset issues that are involved in creativity and design thinking, because there's a lot of people will think that I'm just not creative, and that's somebody else. But creativity is something that can be supported with confidence and with tools and frameworks, approaches, but it can be we're particularly looking at how you build your confidence to be creative and to express your ideas and test them and play with them and things like that. Nature of that module and the nature of the assessments within that module are also going to address your personal confidence in terms of being creative as well. Innovation management is really, and I mentioned Keith Goffin in the presentation, a significant part of this module is built around what's called an innovation management pentathlon framework. And this is the idea that innovation in an organization is led by a strategy. So it's everything's pointing in the same direction. And when we're looking for innovation and ideas from people, that they should be on that direction and on strategy. Innovation is supported then by an organization that has the appropriate supports, incentives, knowledge sharing arrangements, the right organization plan and structure and arrangement to support openness, creativity, and the bringing forward of innovative ideas. And this strategy and this organization, and they're like the bread in the sandwich, and in the middle of it, we have the actual innovation process, and that's where we goes through how we ideate, where we get our ideas, how we prioritize our ideas, how we make choices, because we can't do everything. You know, we have to make choices, and how we do that, we have to have an appropriate mix of incremental innovation that keeps us with the market, but also transformational information that will maybe move us ahead of the market. So how we're able to manage that portfolio of ideas, and then implementation, which is again how we implement those ideas, which have now become innovation projects, if you like. So that module, if you like, will provide you with a framework that you're going to use in a couple of places, or it's going to link into a couple of places. It's going to link into the discipline and innovation process module, which again carries forward some of the ideas from the creativity and design thinking module in terms of developing that mindset. But it's going to see you go through the process, if you like, the meat and the sandwich that I mentioned in the innovation management framework. Is going to see you go through that. So it's going to build from that. And what we've scheduled the modules so that they link well and appropriately together for that type of reason. And then, of course, agile project management is in there again, because we're talking about implementing innovation projects as well. I skipped over 2 modules there. The first is venture validation. This is a module that's been developed by the Growth Hub project. And in this module, it's a bit of a deep dive and an immersive engagement in entrepreneurship. You will ideate working in a group. You will ideate a particular venture, and a venture again doesn't always have to be a new commercial enterprise or something like that. And then you'll take it through the different stages of development, taking it through the value proposition, taking it through developing the business model canvas. And we do this in a way that it's structured. The sessions, you're not getting lectures. You're given an overview, and then you'll develop the idea. And what we really have, we've a super software tool called SimVenture that will guide a lot of the planning and work for you. And if all of that is done, will enable you to produce a super new venture plan, if you like, that has been validated by the different exercises and different researches that you've done during that module. That module also appears in the entrepreneurship and innovation program as well. And then we have a market and customer analysis module, because what we know in design thinking and that we're talking about later stages of it is carrying out the relevant market research and consumer research, or human-centered research. And we build into that. And again, innovation will be related to and driven by information fed and provided by market and customer analysis. So that module is there as an important feed into the overall innovation processes, a critical input to it indeed. And then the third program is the entrepreneurship and innovation postgraduate certificate. And the title of the program, I should say, is Postgraduate Certificate in Entrepreneurship and Innovation. It doesn't have women in the title. We've had a couple of people ask us, why do we have a program that is restricted to women. And why we have it is we've been involved in looking at well, first off, we know from various studies there's a global entrepreneurship monitor study that's done every year, and it identifies that there is an underrepresentation of women in entrepreneurship activities. We know from various research that's been done that it's recommended that there are strong recommendations for supports and educational programs that are restricted to women, that will allow women to join the program, work together in different aspects of it, but and also discuss the areas like the development of that personal entrepreneurial capital with women entrepreneurs guests between themselves, in terms of the often very specific issues that can relate to the context that women are faced when trying to bring forward new ventures. And if you like, there's a bit of a novelty and an innovation to this. And I suppose if we're running entrepreneurship and innovation programs, we should try new things. And so the opportunity to have a program that restricted to women allows the discussions of areas around creativity, of innovation management, of personal entrepreneurial capital in the context of particular issues, life challenges that women face. But also, one of the things we know from all the research as well is that there's an absence of or insufficient access to role models. So there will be this program will see a lot of women entrepreneurs, female innovation leaders from larger organizations as well, come in to tell their stories and their entrepreneurial journeys. I think, and I think that context of doing it in an environment where all the participants are women is something that could be really valuable and motivating. I've mentioned the creativity and design thinking modules as well. So it's the same structure, if you like, as the other one. The innovation management module, that's following that innovation management framework that I've mentioned. The personal entrepreneurial capital is different from the personal entrepreneurial capital module with the digital entrepreneurs, because it has a much stronger emphasis on the context of women entrepreneurs and some specific ideas and frameworks around resilience for women entrepreneurs as well. The venture validate will be similar again. And in this case though, the design thinking and innovation, it'll be people working in groups. In this case, where people will be able to also take it as individuals, because we're expecting that people are, and I know from talking to some potential applicants, they are bringing business ideas, new venture ideas to the program and wanting to use the program to develop it. And they'll have that opportunity through that venture validate framework as well. And then the disciplined innovation process module, like as I mentioned, how it's going to develop that meat and the sandwich from the ideation to implementation of innovation, and the strategy and business modeling, and particularly emphasis on the business modeling and developing the business model for a new venture, for a new venture. So and how that will work, and that will fit in with some of what you will do in your venture validate module as well, in terms of looking at the business model canvas and how that relates to the overall business strategy and how that's implemented later on. I'm after very quickly going through each of the programs there, and we'll have an opportunity for questions on them in a moment if we want to just hold on till then. What I should say as well is, while you have information on the programs on the Springboard website, we've got quite a lot of information on the Growth Hub website, and the link for that is there now. That gives quite detailed information on the modules and the programs. What we've done is we provided a student summary handbook that gives the detail of the programs and the scheduling in terms of semesters. So I would encourage you, if you're exploring in more detail, to have a look at that. It will give you a good idea of the types of assessments as well, and you can see that they're all very much there's quite a range of different types of assessments, because we're looking, and something I didn't mention, I suppose, as part of the Growth Hub, one area that we, a guide that we use for initiatives that we develop is this entrepreneurship competence framework called EntreComp. And this was developed by the European Commission, and it sets out basically 15 different competence areas. And it also guides on, for us in terms of developing programs to support you, that we're looking to build people's competencies across a broad range of areas, and to allow you to do that, and then to be able to assess it. That necessitates a really wide range of assessment approaches. One of the assessment approaches that we have in several modules is, and because so much of the program is online, we have a number of activities, and here you'll be able to hear what we will set topic areas for discussion, and you will, for example, you will submit. A typical one would be, we set the lecturer sets a topic area that they want you to kind of offer your thinking and your reflection on. Not prepare an academic essay on, but your reflection and consideration of it. And you present that, and then everybody does it, and then you're expected to offer feedback or engagement with at least 2 other submissions by other folks. And these can be done in writing, or they can be submitted by video as well. So that's an example of an activity that, and this is, I suppose, what we're trying to do is get better engagement in the online mode as well. And we've done that in other programs, and it's worked really, really well. Others of you'll be developing your enterprise ideas, so you'll be using the different modules to support the different aspects of the development of that. Your innovation ideas, if it's in your organization, again, you'll use and there'll be opportunities for that. The creativity and design thinking module, one of the Saturdays involved there will have you coming in to engage in an assignment together in groups and teams, and an element of that will be included in the assessment as well. So what I would encourage you to is have a look at the module descriptors, and you can see the different types of assessments that we're using. So just some other program information. The entry requirements, they're postgraduate programs, so the standard entry requirement would be a level 8 degree or equivalent. And when I mean equivalent, normally we meet for some professional qualifications like accountancy and that, for example, they have a level 8 equivalency, and can be in other areas as well, engineering and that. It could be that you're a chartered engineer, for example, would be considered equivalent at least. But there's also, if you don't have a degree, but you have significant work experience and don't have the requisite qualifications, but we can consider that under a recognition of prior learning process. And we'll provide you with, if that is the case, we'll provide you on what's required there. It's not exhaustive or that, it's very, very realistic, but it's really important for us that, especially when you're talking about topics like entrepreneurship and innovation, that we try to open the program up to people who have useful experience that they can bring into the program. They may not have a degree, but you can bring into the program your very useful experience and contribute that to the peer learning that will take place on the program. So the application closing date then is February 5th, and that's through the Springboard website only, not to us. Everything has to be managed through that. Some of you may have gone through Springboard programs. And the fees for those in employment are $258, which seems like a strange number. Why didn't we just put it as $260? But it more relates to that we had to put in our costs for delivering the program, and our contract fee for delivering the program to Springboard, and the fees are 10% of that. So our fees did not work out at 2,600 even, they were slightly below it. And it might be even that you're asked for a different number when it comes to paying. It could be something, and I genuinely believe it is something like €258.14 or something like that. So if I've explained why it's that number now, so when you see something come in for paying the fees, you know exactly why it's looking a bit bizarre. Okay, so that is the tour. I'm going to stop sharing now.